lesson with Miss Meadows. I'm so excited to be reading a brand new story with you. You are not going to need your My book today because we are doing a read aloud book, and I am excited to read it with you. But first, we're going to start with our vocabulary as always. And our first word is conducting. Say conducting. Very good. Conducting is a verb or an action word. When you're conducting something, you're making sure it is done the right way. So for example, we are conducting an experiment in our class with our teacher, which means they are making sure that they are doing the experiment in the right way. The next word is method. Say method. Very good. Method is a noun or a person, place, or thing word. A method is a plan that has the right steps for doing something. So this says, what is the best method for keeping your teeth clean and healthy? The best method would be brushing them 2 times a day and using mouthwash afterwards. The next word is specimens. Say specimens. Very good. Specimens is a noun or a person, place, or thing word. Specimens are things that you study to find out what all the things in the same group are like. So for example, Mary takes a closer look at rock specimens that she found outside, which are different types of rocks. The next word is lab. Say lab. Very good. Lab is a noun or a person, place, or thing word. A lab is a place with special tools where you can try out ideas and do tests to find out facts. So in this science lab, students are using microscopes to make discoveries in the lab where they are doing science. The next word is spoiled. Say spoiled. Very good. Spoiled is a verb or an action word. When something gets spoiled, it's not good anymore and you can't use it or enjoy it. So these strawberries are spoiled, they are rotten, they are no good anymore, they are not good to be eaten. And our last word is rid. Say rid. Very good. Rid is a verb or an action word. If you get rid of something, you make it go away. So you can get rid of dirt stains on your clothes by washing them. That makes the dirt stains go away. Alrighty, we are moving on to our anchor chart today, which is on setting. Say setting. Very good. And setting, as we know, is where the story happens or when the story happens. So the where is where does it take place? It could be on the earth or in space or in a house or in trees in the forest or in a castle or on a train. There's a lot of different places that stories can take place. And it's also the when of when the story takes place. So what time of day that it is, or if it's at nighttime or in the daytime, or if it happened a long time ago in history, what month of the year, and then also the season. So was it winter or spring? Or fall or summer. And as we're reading, we want to know, why is the setting important to the story? If the story takes place in winter, are the characters not able to go outside because it's too cold? Or if it happens in the summer, does that mean it could take place at the beach? Or if it was in the winter, the characters couldn't go to the beach. What about the setting makes it important? If it happened a long time ago in history, was it before something was invented? Or if it takes place in the future, is it something that has not been invented yet? Or if it's in outer space, there might be astronauts. All those different things play a part in making the setting of the story important. So our story that we are going to be reading today is a read aloud book. It is called Charlotte the Scientist is Squished. It is written by Camille Andros, is the author who writes the words, and is illustrated by Brianne Fallry, who is the person who draws the picture, or the illustrator. So it looks like we've got 2 characters here. Charlotte the Scientist, I think, is right here. This bunny is going to be Charlotte the Scientist. I am thinking that this is going to be a fiction story because it looks like our main characters are animals who are going to be talking, which we know can't happen in real life, which would make this story a fiction story, or a story that didn't actually happen. And I actually missed, we've got another bunny down here, so it looks like all of our characters in this story are going to be bunnies. Charlotte the Scientist is Squished by Camille Andros and illustrated by Brianne Farley. Charlotte was a serious scientist. Protective glasses, a lab coat, and a magnifying glass were her essential scientific equipment. plus a clipboard for important notes. Charlotte solved problems by conducting experiments that followed the scientific method. So here we've got the scientific method, which starts with asking a question, then developing a hypothesis or a prediction, then doing the experiment, making observations on the experiments, and then coming to a conclusion or an answer. We've got her pictures, and then here is Charlotte with her protective glasses, clipboard, lab coat, and magnifying glass all labeled. And Charlotte had a problem. She was squished. She's squished because she lives somewhere with so many people that she has no space. It would be like if we had 50 kids in our classroom. We would be squished with nowhere to go or work. She was squished at the table. She was squished in the tub. And sometimes she was even squished on the toilet. How silly. She can't even go in and use the bathroom. It had become impossible to conduct her experiments. Her test tubes were taken, her beakers got broken, and her specimens were spoiled. Charlotte needed some space. It was time to use the scientific method. So she is starting to realize that all of her things are being taken, and she needs to use science to help her solve her problem. So step 1 is ask a question. So her question is, how can I get some space around here? So go to step 2, form a hypothesis. Her hypothesis or her prediction is, if I can get rid of my brothers and sisters, I will have room to be a real scientist. So we know she's probably not going to be able to actually get rid of them. However, if she could get rid of them, she would have more room. So how can she solve that problem? Let's see what she does. Step 3, test the hypothesis or experiment. So she tried an experiment to make everyone disappear, but it didn't work. There they all are. Didn't work. So she's not going to give up here. Scientists don't just give up when it doesn't work the first time. She tried another experiment to make herself disappear. Oh, so if she can't make them disappear, maybe she could make herself disappear. So she tried to camouflage herself into the bush, but that didn't work either. If she was going to get some space, she would have to go there. So what did she build? She made a rocket ship out of a carrot, and she decided, if I'm going to have some space, I'm going to go to space. And she is going all the way to space in her rocket ship. Look at, there she is. Charlotte made it to space, and look at how much room she has. No one is there to bother her. She's got all this room to run around. Step 4, make and record observations. Charlotte was no longer squished at the table. She was no longer squished in the tub. And Charlotte could take as long as she wanted down the toilet. Space was splendid. So here's her observation checklist. Meals, check. Baths, check. Toilet, check. Important experiments. Finally, step 5, draw conclusions or come up with your answers. She had all the room she needed to conduct very important experiments using her protective glasses, lab coat, and magnifying glass. Her test tubes were tidy, her beakers looked brilliant, and her specimens were sparkling. Her hypothesis was correct. She finally had room to be a scientist, so she must get everything she wants now, right? Oh, the only problem was there was no one to talk to at mealtime. No one to blow bubbles with in the tub. And what was Charlotte supposed to do when she ran out of toilet paper? She says, hello? There's no one there. Space was lonely. Aww. Back to step 2, form a new hypothesis. So this is space plus no friends equals a lonely scientist. If I can have friends in space, then I won't be lonely and I can be a real scientist. So, time for more experiments. Charlotte tried chocolate, but it was too tempting, and the balloons kept floating away. And robot bunnies were poor conversationalists. They got ruined in the bathtub and tangled in the toilet paper. Charlotte missed her family. She even missed being squished. And reached a new conclusion. Charlotte didn't need outer space. She just needed her own space. So her solution at the end was she just turned her carrot rocket ship into her own space where she could go and have space from her brothers and sisters when she needed it without going all the way to space, which I think is a much better solution than actually going to space. So that is our story today of how Charlotte figured out that she didn't need to go all the way to space. She just needed a space of her own. You are now able to unlock your gem choice board and either work on your sapphire, your emerald, your ruby, or your diamond choice. Feel free to explore whichever one you feel most comfortable with. If you want to do a re-listen to help with your understanding, feel free to do that. Otherwise, go ahead and work on whichever one you want, and I will see you for another reading lesson tomorrow. Bye, friends!